What's up everybody, Neo Legend Strider here with another Warframe video, and today I wanted to talk about Kuva. Just for clarification, the purpose of this video is meant to spark some discussion and maybe get some ideas rolling at DE and let them know we think it's time to invent a new mechanic or way to get Kuva more effectively. Now I know a lot of you may be saying the Venus update is more than likely top priority right now for DE, and you're probably right because, like I said, this is just for discussion purposes. I don't expect any changes for Kuva for a while, especially with them working on Venus and Railjack. So there's one thing I want to get straight before I go on a bit of a rant here. I can somewhat understand the current rate at which we can attain Kuva, but I believe there's a much better way of going about Kuva farming. And the current way to get it, well, it sucks. Plain and simple. I don't mind Kuva farming, but it's the amount of Kuva that you can get even if you do the Kuva survival for an hour, reroll the Rivens with the Kuva you got, still not get the rolls you're looking for. I mean, call me salty and impatient, but let's be fair here. If you have a Riven that's at the point where you need 3,500 Kuva for each reroll, and you just did a 1 hour survival, and based on how many times you're just made to proc the double resource drop, you're only getting about 4 to 5 rerolls out of each Kuva run. I mean, to some people that may sound like a lot, but it's really not. I've seen so many Rivens that have hundreds of rolls because you can't just quite get that god roll that you're looking for. There's a lot of players out there who have so many Rivens that they can't get rid of because they don't have the time to go Kuva farming for that extended amount of time. I just feel like there's a bit of hassle to it as well. Not too many people want to go for an hour or more in the Kuva runs. What I mean by the hassle is getting the group together, making sure those people have enough time to go for an hour, because real life likes to rear its ugly head rather often, having the resource booster, hoping for that double resource proc from the Kavat, making sure your group can kill those high level enemies after 50 minutes or so, making sure everyone has the right frames, so on and so forth. Many other content creators were saying, why not just have the Kuva rewards scale? Which in my mind, I feel like it's on the back burner of DE because we all know Warframe is a very community driven game, and they're always trying to improve the game and try to make the gameplay a lot more fair for us and understandable for newcomers. So an idea that I had in my head for a long time is bonus rounds or challenge rounds, which to many of you may sound old and reused, but for Warframe, I feel like it would be new in a certain sense. I think it would be cool if we had a challenge round where sentients teleport in and raid the Kuva Fortress after a certain amount of time, like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and 60 minutes. So you guys get the idea. Or maybe not even sentients. Maybe it could be an old Grineer boss like Vor, or Krill, or Sagar's Rock, Helidathune, Tilragor, and make them really, really beefy. Get rid of the mechanics that you have to work around in order to do damage to them, and just give them ridiculous amounts of health and make it to where you have to kill them in a time limit while defending a Kuva capsule. I don't necessarily mean introducing bullet sponges into the game, but maybe just introduce some sort of mechanic that requires everyone to communicate and focus fire on the boss that spawns in. Like, maybe not make them bullet sponges, but make it to where you have to focus fire on them before they become vulnerable. Maybe give them a damage counter on the screen that tells you how much damage you have to do to them before their armor and shields are stripped and you're able to wail on them, but make it to where if you stop damaging them, their armor and shields immediately begin regenerating, and they will regenerate very quickly. I would find this pretty fun, unique to most Warframe bosses. The point of Warframe is to make things fun. We're speedy space ninjas with incredible abilities that can decimate our foes, and we collect things to become even more speedy badass space ninjas. And when I'm doing Kuva runs all day on one particular map, it can get a bit boring and dull. So if we decide to go with the scaling idea instead of bonus rounds, just how much should it scale based on time? Well, let's take into consideration what the average player advertises in the recruiting chat. Normally I see people wanting to go for about 30 minutes to an hour. I personally always try to go as long as I can, but most people dip around 40 minutes. So I think the scaling should start around the 20-minute mark. And at 25 minutes, it's 250 Kuva. At 30 minutes, it's 300 Kuva. And at 35 minutes, 350 Kuva, and so on and so forth. Must have the Star Wars theme on my head or something like that. This would encourage players to organize themselves before dumbing into an extended run. But that still begs the question, is it enough? I personally think so. When you take a look at most players that just hop on for a little while to wind down and have some occasional free time to play the game, you usually have a few Rivens they're looking to reroll and sell. Me personally, I'm one of those people. I believe I have around 24 ribbons in total, and take into consideration that ribbon mods are now a common reward from the sortie, so it's most definitely going to increase the playtime for Kuva farming. I really just want a good part of this game to not be such a chore and it not feel as rewarding as it should. Anyway guys, what do you think of all my ideas? Should we go with bonus round type mechanic or just increase the rewards by scaling? Post a comment below and tell me what you think. This is Neo Legend Strider, signing off. Legends together, legends forever. Peace.